I wanted to be up before the sunrise this morning for you guys, but I got involved with a conversation with this group from Texas. Very interesting group. We had a session last night, kind of late, and so the sun got rising already before me. You see, it's rising, rising, rising. What's going on here? Oh, it's too far over because it's so far south. There, you got it. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And then they wanted me to airdrop the link for the live streams. So I had to turn off the Wi-Fi, drop the link, airdrop it, and turn off the Wi-Fi again, and set up the Facebook, and there we go. So people, we are in a very special day today, for a good reason. Amazing readings. Totally soaked New and Old Testament all together. That great encounter, that great flow of generations of people of faith, that great flow of God's untiring intervention for us. And it's happening through the family. Like, if you wanted to change the world, where would you start? You get a new president in this country, change the dictator in that country, change the world and make it better. Stop that war. And God's way is to bring a little boy into life. A child will be born. And upon his shoulder dominion rests. And this child is born. And a child isn't born in a cobweb or under a leaf of a big tree. A child is born in the heart of a loving couple, of a family. And today our focus is on the family. We're focusing on the family. Imagine that tower in the Franciscan site here is 2nd century Roman period. So that's about, a good century after this family story. And actually what we should do is go back a little bit to the archaeology, because this is 1st century houses. Let's go back there, because that's where people live. Families live in little houses or caves. Like, all these caves up here in Mount Arbel. Imagine refugees finding a cave and they're fleeing war situation. They have little babies, little children. A cave could be very useful. You want to see those caves up there? And actually there's a theory that the alphabet, the letters of the alphabet, Bet is the word in Hebrew for house. And they say that the shape of it is like the shape of a cave. And alpha is like the horns of a ram and of a goat. And so that's what they were living from, their herds. See more caves up there in the center of the screen? We were up there before last year. I don't know when. We must go up there again soon to refresh your memories. And so, these basics of life, a little cave, anything will do to be a little house, a tent, even a barrel. I saw a family once in Manila, in the Philippines, and I saw the guy in the morning. He was lifting up the lid of a trash can a little higher up, and he was handing in a cup of coffee, because that's where he had his wife sleeping, because he was sleeping on the street, and he didn't want his wife outside sleeping on the street. So there was one of those big trash bins, the trucks lift up with hydraulic lift and dump. So he found a trash can that was suitable, a trash container, and his wife was safely in there, and he brought her a coffee in the morning. See, family, all kinds of situations families can be living in. It can be very tough, very challenging. But God is good. And families are very special places. And families can go through tremendous challenges. And there can be also, it's always natural, real tensions inside of families, The little baby is there receiving everything for years and years and years, but now the little baby is an adolescent. And there are tensions. Because this baby is discovering his own personhood, her own personhood. And it's challenging for parents to adjust to that little baby is no longer a little baby. That little baby is now going to be soon a young adult. And this baby is flowering and flourishing and blossoming. And that bud is opening up. And that new life is maturing. You know? So let's come over here. Now we have a complex here that's very interesting because it's actually considered by the archaeologists to be a bunch of families in here. So this is a nice place to be here this morning for our little chat about the Holy Family. But the problem is this family had to leave because Herod was threatening to kill the child. And they had to leave their home and go to Egypt. And the family sticks together in those moments. The pressure that's put on by society on the family so often, so challenging. And that light comes into their home, into their caravan, in their little structure as they try to protect life, keep it warm, keep it nourished, keep it safe. All these little houses, little rooms, how families lived in here. And they lived in small spaces. You remember the gospel story? And he said, oh, I can't get up to give you bread. You know, the guy who came looking for bread for some visitors he had. I can't get up to give you bread because I'm going to wake up all my children. If I stir, they're going to be stirred. They're going to wake up of their gentle, innocent sleep. You know? He probably woke them up by shouting anyway, but anyway. So, you know, the families go through lots of situations, also health situations. And today we're praying for the family. We're contemplating the Holy Family as they escape into Egypt ahead of Herod's hatred. Leaving their home, finding a pathway to go, finding safety. Maybe there are robbers along the way. Joseph has to be really on the alert. How dads are under a lot of pressure sometimes when there are threats to the family. And how moms have to be watching out and so sensitive, taking care of everything. This is the life. This is the life of humanity. And we have that complete commitment of parents to their children that's so beautiful. Hey, look at this. We got these birds flying again. I missed a couple the other day. I could hear them, I couldn't see them. I wanted to show them on the live stream. And these migrating birds, it's kind of late that they're doing that. I'm used to seeing them doing it earlier. I don't know if we can catch them. Do you see them up there in the sky? Oh, there, you got them now. I was in the wrong spot. And I can hear them here with their squeaks, their squeaky cackling. And there's another bunch right above us here. Look at them. And the animals also have a great instinct of protecting their young. I mean, you better be careful of a wild boar up here on Mount Arbel. If she has young, you keep your distance, because if she perceives a threat, she will take you out. She will chew you up. She'll break your bones. Like up here in Mount Arbel, there are lots of wild boar. You know, we've had a couple of close encounters with them, I think, before. I think we got them on the camera, didn't we? So let's look then at the relationships in the family and how they can be nurtured and built up. And we have great wisdom, 2 centuries, the 2nd century before Christ, like a good, rich century before him. And we have this very beautiful reading from the book of Sirach, this book of wisdom. Wisdom is the building up of experience, especially experience in the presence of God. There are 2 possible readings, and I wanted to explain more background there, but let's just go to the reading. Brothers and sisters, no, 1 second, that's the second one. God sets a father in honor over his children, and a mother's authority he confirms over her sons. These are not words that are spoken too much nowadays. It's all about rights and freedom and how the parents have to relinquish all their claims and the kids have all kinds of rights, and the states come in. And I just read about a horrible law the other day that a young teenager can do some very serious decisions with which we wouldn't agree at all. And the government says now you can do that and you don't need parental consent. And so there are very big issues. But this wisdom shows that the parents have a very special role with their children. And the beauty and wisdom of the heart that honors their parents, even if parents might be dysfunctional for some reason in some aspect, in some sector of their lives, to honor our parents. And there's some beautiful lines in scripture about when their mind fails, because in age people can decline, and to have that great care and mercy and kindness. God sets a father in honor over his children. A mother's authority he confirms over her sons. Whoever honors his father atones for sins. Because you see, our parents, they're the bridge where God gives us our life. Without our parents, we wouldn't have our life. That's the way God wanted it. That's a tremendous treasure. And God takes that very seriously, so seriously that when the Word became incarnate, it happened in a family. It happened in a mother, supported by a very good man who was upright and just. And that's the adjective used, and that's a very special adjective in the Bible. When it says that somebody was a just man, that's a big statement. That's not done very frequently. And so this good man was there to support Mary in the extraordinary role she had. And actually the reason we have the Feast of the Holy Family today, it's usually on the Sunday in the octave of Christmas. And this year Sunday is the 8th day of Christmas, so we have a very special celebration for that, honoring the mother of Jesus, the mother of God. God made flesh, the Word made flesh. And so that's why on the Friday we anticipate the Feast of the Holy Family. Whoever honors his father atones for sins and preserves himself from them. So it's a path of holiness. The person who takes care of their parents is already on a path of justice, a path of very appropriate living. And if we start on a path of appropriate living in any area of our lives, in work, in our indulgence in food and drink, if we start on a good path in relationship to the other sex, with respect and not thinking and desiring and saying and doing really absolutely awful things, then we're on a path of justice. We're on a path of holiness. We're protected from further sins. Isn't that amazing? When he prays, he is heard. What a thing. When you pray, you're heard. Because sometimes, we feel we're not heard in our prayers. And so the person who takes care of their parents is, you see, they're ready to receive God's gifts in their prayers. Isn't that amazing? You see, the 4th commandment, honor your father and your mother, that's the first of all the social commandments. And it's pure wisdom, it's pure goodness for us to do that. And maybe we have some bad chapters of history with our parents, or maybe with children. Maybe mistakes were made. Maybe selfishness played a too big of a role. But we can ask for forgiveness. We can rebuild. It's really worthwhile rebuilding family relationships. And that's the encouragement we get. It's amazing. Oh, I just realized I might be running out of battery soon again. So, I encourage you to read these readings. Whoever honors his father is gladdened by children. Whoever reveres his father will live a long life. Whoever obeys his father brings comfort to his mother. What a beautiful thought. How to warm a mother's heart when a child is respectful a son or a daughter, even in mature adulthood, that respect and honor for parents is so healthy for the human mind and heart and soul and psychology. If we had a little bit more family life, we might have a lot less social, mental damage and social damage in our society. What a path to grow and to bring humanity to full blossom and blooming. I'd love to go into more of the readings, but I think we just leave it like that for today, because I want to get a little spot into Instagram before the phone dies. There's a lovely, in the link you have, there's a lovely reading from Colossians that's full with very beautiful verbs and adverbs and adjectives for family life. Blessed are those who fear the Lord and walk in his ways. Their home will be so beautiful. And then we have the story of Joseph bringing Jesus out of Egypt, you know. And that's kind of another model before, because and different Joseph brought his people to Egypt. And now God is restarting his people again with Jesus. A new chapter of fullness of life. People, let's leave it like that. God bless you. See you later, alligators. Here in glorious morning. Kind of a wintry morning here, although it's very, very pleasant. God bless you.